Test, test. Do I sound thirsty? That's the last thing I want to do is sound thirsty. Sometimes hey Shazam, hey Cindy, hey AJM. Yeah, the last thing I want to do is sound thirsty when I start a show, because every time I like listen to somebody's live stream and like they sound all thirsty and dry mouth, I just feel bad for them. I'm like, oh, drink some water, drink some water. And so I try to prepare for that, but who knows, right? I was thinking about a lot of things. I prepared for a lot of different show topics, right? Usually God puts something on my heart, about an hour before, it's not perfectly on time all the time, but it is what it is, right? And so I'd prepared to, go through Romans, the Paul's speech to about sin and about being saved by grace, right? Faith in Jesus' sacrifice and wanting to do the right thing and being in a body where it's almost impossible, right? And so I was going to go through that, and then I was going to go through, and then I prepared for, to go through, the whole book of First Corinthians, but we probably only make it through the first chapter. And then I thought about, oh, well, maybe Ephesians, And then I talked to Cindy for a little bit before, maybe about an hour before and then after that, I started getting like all these messages on my heart to say, right? Things I haven't prepared for, like, um, like when we go to meet like other people. Oh, hey Sheila, how you doing? Welcome. And so like when we meet other people in like different chat um comment sections, right, where someone wants you to prove something or bring them some evidence or kind of like a time vampire. They just want to take your time away. They're not really trying to be reasonable. They don't want to learn anything from you. They just want you to present all your evidence so they can reject it. And so time is like very, very precious and fragile to us right here in the last days. Uh, Not so much for us because we want him to come back right now, of course, right? But the time is really for other people, right? Is for other people to have a chance, right? The same chance we had, right? To submit to God, right? And trust in his sacrifice. And, then I thought about like, kind of like if you had like a son and he wanted to buy a baseball mitt or something to play baseball and the finances just weren't there in the house, and he sold lemonade all summer. I mean, little kid worked hard, right? And you're proud of him. He's not perfect, but you love him. And he makes enough to buy the mitt, right? And and then when he's playing in the street, right, he breaks somebody's window, and the price for that window is everything that he's got, everything. You owe everything for that mistake, and it, fair or not, that's the way it is, right? And so dad comes out and says, I'm gonna pay for that. You've worked hard, and I'm gonna pay for that. I'll sacrifice my own money to pay for that. I'm not. You're not off the hook, right? You still have to see me struggle and suffer for that, right? That I have to sacrifice, right? And but I don't require any of your money at all, right? It's just a gift, right? But when you're out there on the field, it'd be nice if you thought highly about me and, treated your teammates well, you know? And I thought about that analogy right before, right? And I'm like, I wonder if that's even really, the perfect way to say it. But I thought it was pretty good with to like a minute before the show, right? And so I know that that's not all me. And so, I mean, it's obvious, and I don't know why, at this point in time, I was able to, accept Jesus easily, and and love him and submit to the fact that I didn't make the world and he did, and that's just the way it is. And to love him, and yeah, we'll never be perfect, right? But Paul said it best in Romans, right, when he said, should we just sin so grace would abound? And it's of course not. Of course not. Of course you don't. Just because you get a gift of grace doesn't mean you sin. You try hard for that person, like I I don't I all these extreme examples, right, that you get from people. It's like, well, if all you're thinking about is salvation, the minimum, right? And you don't want anything for anybody else or God, you just want the minimum requirement for salvation, right? Why are we thinking like that? Why are we even thinking like that? I want to do the most amount of stuff. The reason why it's important that to know that salvation is a gift that God paid in full, right? That only He can pay. If I had anything to do with it, I wouldn't make it, right? Is because if it was on me, it would make me crazy to think about, oh man, am I doing this right? Did I accidentally do that wrong? Did I ask for forgiveness? What if I die in a car accident and I flip somebody off and I die? I mean, if it was like that, it would drive you crazy. I mean, any good person that feels like a wretch, right, would never feel worthy of heaven. And we're not, right? That's why it's a gift. No man can boast, you know? And the attitude shouldn't be, what's the minimum I got to do to get it? It should be, what's the most amount of stuff I can do for this man that died for me? My Lord, fully man, fully God, lived it. So dying on the cross, right? That's, horrific, right? You know, amazing on its own, right? But to live over 30 perfect years, right, as a man is truly amazing, right? I mean, you don't think that he had feelings like we have and disappointments like we have during his life and childhood, where he wanted to react and didn't, like God didn't, like when Jesus was a man, right? Uh, what did God say? He made him slightly lower than the angels in intelligence, right? So he didn't have like he really had to do it like us, and he's truly my hero, he's our hero. But anyway, I'm gonna have Cindy come up, and then maybe we'll chat about some stuff. Maybe we'll talk about, like, I don't know, some conspiracies, some things going on in the world or whatever, and who knows, right? Because I plan to do, I planned 3 different shows, right? And I didn't do either one, and so who knows? Maybe I'll talk about some of that stuff too. We might go over some scripture. And I just want to say thank you guys for coming. And I know that it's been kind of a bumpy last couple of days, especially if you're one of the people that we could really live without trolls, and or acknowledging them, or or giving them any kind of platform, right? But sometimes when you know things happen, right? People want to process that kind of stuff, and put their 2 cents in and their reaction to things, right? And and I get that, right? I mean, personally, I could ignore it for the rest of my life. It doesn't bother me anymore. I've processed it. It went from uh, wanting it to stop to um, you know it being annoying to um, I could really care less. I couldn't care less. But I can tell you what I do care about is Jesus. And Jesus said, right, to love God with all your heart. And he also said to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And I love that. And I want to have that spirit inside me that craves to do what he wants me to do. I want to want what he wants for me, you know? That's what I mean by saying I wish I could give my will, just hand it right over to him. And oh, I'm glad you got a new phone, Karen. And I got a new phone too. It took me long enough, but let me welcome Cindy to the show. Let me put her on here. Welcome, Cindy. How are you doing today? Good morning.
Are we okay?
Sounds good.
Oh, okay. 10-4.
Well, is it 10 for today or is it 10 for? Oh, it is. It is. Oh my God. Well, I thought that it was tomorrow. And way back in May, I remember telling you that I thought that it was going to be 10-4. And I remember that Brenda put out a video yesterday that said if there was a war started in Israel, that it's pretty likely, right? But we got to find out if that information is new or not, new or old. But it would be exciting to see those things happen.
Stephen, actually, she's been talking a long time about we have to have the war in Israel first.
That's right.
That's
That's right.
But when you brought it up, she didn't know. She didn't know
She
about
hadn't she hadn't heard about it. No.
it. No.
And
So
see, the thing is, is that somebody else had heard about it, right? But then when I brought it up in here, I guess well, Sheila said she looked at it and it was like it was old. And sometimes that happens, right? Like you'll get some kind of old information will come up and it'll be like represented as new. And with the way media is, you never know. And so I'll say this, right? Is financially and politically, everyone's in bed together, right? So the idea of war, right, is really not real as far as political, situations, but it's real in the sense that the pawns, like us, fight in their wars, and so there is going to be a war there. It's scripture, and so there's a lot to consider. I'm getting some sound issues from your side.
I'm thinking I've got the wrong thing clicked. There's more options here today. Can I try something else?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Click a different thing.
Okay. Oh no. Hello? Did you mute yourself? So if you have YouTube open, even if it's muted, I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Oh,
But even if it's muted or the sound is off, it'll still do that.
let me shut everything down again.
Yeah. And it's better anyway to just kind of like,
Is your problem gone yet?
let me see. Yeah, it seems like it's good.
Okay, there was something open in the background.
And so like I think like with the time, right? With the way that time is like a factor, right? and we're getting close, right? No matter what you think is going on again, Cindy, no matter what you think your timeline is, right? Is anyone that's going to waste our time, right? And prevent us from getting to other people for to try to get them to Jesus for salvation, and anything that's going to prevent us from loving each other, right, as we would love ourselves, regardless of what we think our understanding of the timeline of Revelation is, right? Some of us think it's, you know, we're after the millennium. Some of us think we're in the millennium. Some of us think it's before. Most of us are probably in the before camp, but there are people trickling everywhere, right? And so, there's a solution to that, obviously, in Proverbs, right? Where, you know, um, don't lean on your own understanding, right? Like, you got to trust God, right? That His word is perfect, and lean on it, and be humble, right? But there's a lot of very exciting things happening right now.
Sorry, there was noises here. Are you there?
Yeah. Did you hear any of that?
I heard all of that. I just muted me so you didn't hear all the noises over here.
It's okay. I put a lot of meat on the bone there for you.
Yeah.
Remember when me and Tom used to talk like that? Like I would say a lot of things, and then you'd have to kind of unravel it.
Yeah, because I was distracted right now, so it kind of, you know.
Yeah, I would just close everything out and just concentrate on the show, because like the way the chats are is it's behind anyway, and it gets distracting.
It wasn't just the computer, it was somebody else here announcing things. And I said, I got my mic on, dude.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind that. Man, something is. You have a program that's open.
No,
Yeah, it might either be on another device. That's the only thing that'll do it. Is it
I don't have any of. I think I have the wrong thing clicked. There's a cam and there's a cam mic, and I didn't have that option yesterday.
okay? Well, click it off. See if it works. Nope. Click that back off again. Click that again. Okay, now click the mic part again. This is horrible.
Really?
Yeah. Are you sure you don't have another device that's right near you that has YouTube open?
Nope.
Because usually only YouTube open does this.
Hmm.
No, not even on another tab or like say on your phone or on a tablet,
No, I have nothing, just the computer, and it just
and it's all off everything.
everything's off.
Mm,
Oh, this stinks.
yeah. No, it's okay. So, like, what do you think about like how the timeline is?
If it's making noise in your ear, I don't want to do this.
I just wonder if everyone else can hear. Can everyone else hear, or is it bad? I have to wait a little bit. You can tolerate it.
Oh, oh,
It's horrible.
don't
I'm
want.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to click you off right now, because it's like really like destroying me. Cindy sounds fine, but the problem is
Can
that
I come back?
the problem is that there's another source for my voice that's coming through your mic and my mic. That's the only thing that can cause it. So it's like you have the chats open or something on another page. That's the only thing that could cause it. Even if it's closed down, right? Even if it's on mute, it still does it because it goes through the computer. And even if it's on another device, I've tried it all kinds of ways because I wanted to look at like different chat boxes and different um, things going on, people streaming my stream, that kind of stuff. But you can only have the show open. I mean, that's it. And don't worry about what's going on in the chat. And if you have two microphones, that could do it too. I would get headphones. Try to find some headphones. Yeah, it's just me because it's my voice is going through my microphone, and my voice is going through her microphone too, and it's a little bit of a delay, right? It's not equal out right at the same time, and that's the only thing that can cause that kind of distortion. So either there's a mic open on two mics open over there, or it's YouTube is open, and so headphones might do that, Cindy. I don't know, but it's impossible to have YouTube open and have the show open at the same time. It sucks, I know. But the chats are about, I don't know, 30 seconds behind, and so sometimes I got to be careful of like communication problems. If like somebody's not answering a question from like a long time ago. Like right now, my newest chat is Level Up saying it's annoying, and it's probably way up the chat box. And there's new stuff that I haven't seen. But it's amazing that there's 18 people here listening to this, right? And so, like, no, but here's the thing, right? And this is a good example, right? I'm glad that you came up because this really gives a good example of like the it's like we're getting attacked in so many ways, right? That the devil wants to like waste our time, right? And wants to have us focus on his stuff, right? And wherever the truth is being told, right? Either Satan's going to try to stop us from doing it, or uh, there's going to be some distraction to keep our time away from finding those last few people, because life is all like I used to think that God was a big part of my life, right? But the reality of it is that God is life. There's nothing else but God. That's why we're here. And so and I'll say it like this, like if you love any part of this life, right? And I'm not talking about like mountains or birds or trees or kids or anything like that, right? Of course, you love those things, right? But if you love any part of this world, this system, any part of it, then that's not a good thing. And this world is hostile towards us. It's our enemy. And all I want to do is fully separate from it and just I kind of watch it like a movie. And my chat just froze up. Hold on, let me fix it. All right, is that better? Now, did I like totally disappear, or did you hear me that whole time? Well, I bought the membership for StreamYard, and oh, you mean get membership for for people to buy memberships to be in the chat? I don't know about that. Like, I definitely don't want to be accepting money. I totally disappeared, like for a long time or just a little bit. Like, did you hear my little spiel and then I left for like a minute, or did I disappear for a long time? That would be pretty amazing. Well, yeah, it's about spiritual growth, right? Well, that's what we're supposed to be doing, is we're supposed to be I mean, that is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. That's what life is about, right? It's like getting closer to God, right? Getting spiritually more mature, right? And yeah, okay, so I have to like, I don't have to get involved with people that are like trolling me, right? Because it's not going to do any good. It's not a reasonable situation, right? It's easy to ignore, right? But when you get involved with that, it's a lower level vibration of your spirit, right? It's like when you care what other people think of you, that's an attack from the devil. Because, like, and I'm not going to say what you should be doing, right? Because everyone's at different levels, right? But I could like be happy on my own. I don't. I don't need to come on YouTube. I'm fine by myself. And I would be happy with my own salvation and have peace and joy and, maybe talk to people if I run into them, and just be a happy guy, right? But I have this urge inside me, right? And unbelievable energy, right? To want to spread to other people this joy I feel inside. I want everybody to have it, right? And not because it's my way, but because it's real. It's the truth. That's the way it is, right? Independent of my beliefs, right? And so I feel like I owe it to people, right? But then like, and it's very clear what my calling is, right? Because every time I step outside of my calling, right, uh, it doesn't work out. I'm just supposed to care for people, right, that come here, and I'm supposed to try to find like whatever sheep is out there walking aimlessly or brand new sheep, right? That's what I'm supposed to do. And I'm supposed to have some kind of network of people to where I can direct people where to go to learn certain things. And so I guess in a way, build a family, right? Build a web ring, build a some kind of situation where we can all share information, we can all share knowledge, we can all um, sharpen each other up, we can all understand where, even if somebody's wrong, we can understand how they got there and what happened. And because this is what's very humbling, right? Is sometimes I'll be right about something and I know that the other person is wrong. And maybe they know far more than me, right? But it's like, you can't just come out and say it like that. It's the person's got to get there on their own, because the more, uh, like if I came on here and said, "Oh yeah, God is working through me and everything is great and God is, you know, you know, special. I'm the chosen one," that kind of stuff, right? That's horrible, right? Right. But I know God's working through me. I hope that that's just that you guys can see that. Talking about it doesn't do me any good, right? So when I'm talking to somebody that knows more than me and they're wrong, I maybe plant a seed to see if they'll get there on their own. But a lot of people are dug into their ways, and so it's very difficult. There's things that require a lot of nuance, and there's a lot of variables, but we're also running out of time, right? So there's a lot of factors at play, right? That could make things very volatile, especially when you're talking about politics, religion, things like that, right? It's going to make people emotional because it is an emotional thing, right? This is the strongest, best like relationship you have in your life, right? It's love, right? To the highest degree, right? And so anytime somebody takes you off of where you feel comfortable in your relationship with God, right? It is huge, right? And so I'm very careful with how I talk to people when I talk about God because I know that I have to face him, you know? I have to stand in front of him. And that's the way it is. And so I just I get these feelings inside of how I'm supposed to act. And when I don't know the answer, right? Which, I'll look at any video you guys show me, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to talk to 8 people or 6, people or 5 people that I know are, way smarter than me, especially about scripture. and I'm going to get advice from them, right? And then I'm going to test it myself. And so most likely I'm not going to fall for nothing, you know? And so while on the show, I got to like seem pretty neutral, right? Um, it's really cut and dry. The Bible is true. That's it, you know? And it's people that have different interpretations. The Bible is one thing, right? But the part that makes it interesting is that not one person has a perfect understanding of it, right? And it's not determined by, you would think the longer you study, the more you should know, right? But there's people that study a long time that don't know, right? And so there's a lot that goes into that, right? And yeah, it's this is a hard thing to talk about for me, right? And because I don't want people to think that I'm trying to be speaking I'm not called to speak in an authoritative way about this stuff, right? But I do understand a lot of stuff that I don't know why I understand it, and I don't know how it happened. I just know that I love the Bible, and I am only happy with what I know because I'm going to read it today more, and I'm going to read it tomorrow more. And, that's the best way that I've been able to actually, like, like start to get like better self esteem and all that kind of stuff, right? Feel good about yourself, right? Feel happy with who you are and love who you turned out to be, right? Is if, if as long as I'm trying to get better, I can be satisfied with who I am. But, I'm a total wretch, there's no way I would let me into heaven. And only God's grace and forgiveness is the only way to it's the only way I could go to heaven. So if in my mind, right, the perfect God would do that. Well, the topic today was going to be sorry, Joel. The topic today was going to be First Corinthians, and I was going to talk about Paul's speech to the Romans, and then maybe go into like Ephesians chapter 2. But it was put on my heart to talk about time, right? How we're running out of time, and how there's going to be people that are going to try to rob your time from you. And so when you run into people, right? Well, and I was going to have Cindy on too. So, I'm sorry about that, Joel. But like when you have to kind of like, when you have to, uh, make up stuff on the fly, right? Like, because things go wrong, right? Like, oh, and you're right. Fair enough, Joel, right? If you feel like I'm wasting your time now, but I'll tell you what is that, what's important is our love for God and our love for each other. It's more than just about the word, right? There's the law and the word and the way things are, but there's also nuance to it too. And so like it's always going to be about people, right? And so you don't want to ever lose the spirit of the rule, right? Because every law, right, every rule, right, is there for our benefit, not not to prevent us from doing something that's super cool, right? It's just and it's not a way for God to shake his finger at you and exclude you from anything, right? The way it is for our benefit. And so if you lose the spirit of that, right? And I think Jesus summarized it really well when he was talking about the Sabbath, that the Sabbath was created for you to rest, right? But for you to be so structured on the law to do it right, you're losing the spirit of it's what you're supposed to rest and worship God. And so that it's important to get the spirit of these things, right? And I think that's why Jesus broke it down into two commandments. love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as you love yourself. And you can't go wrong, right? And so that's what we got to do right here, you know? Oh, don't worry about it, Clutch. But here's the thing, right? If if I take that kind of stuff personal, right, then it can only make me better, right? And so I know Joel pretty good, right? Yeah, it was, it hit me kind of hard, right, to see that comment, but I know that I can always be better. And he's right. It was a long monologue, and if I had Cindy up here and we did this, probably would be better. And sometimes things don't work out perfect, And so I appreciate you. I think that Joel did something good. Joel said something to make me better, and Clutch was caring about my emotions, and I appreciate both of you for that. And so that's what I mean by things, require nuance. And sometimes you just have to say stuff a different way for somebody to understand it. And so there's nothing that goes on in my life, right, that can't make me better, right? And obviously you guys see the attacks that are happening, right? But what did God say, right? No weapon formed against me shall prosper, right? That's what God said, right? And this channel has grown. The people have given me more empathy. The people have grown stronger together, right? No weapon formed against us shall prosper. And God is always faithful. I've never leaned on God and had him let me down, ever. And these things are coming true in real life in a way that it can't be coincidence, right? That all these verses that we say off the top of our head, right, are happening right now. And whether we're going to argue about time or not, it definitely wasn't an accident for us to all be here right now. That's part of God's plan. And so I thank God for trusting me with you guys. And I hope I do a good job and he trusts me with more stuff. I mean, I am kind of getting a little overwhelmed and I could definitely use more help. And, I'm just, that's all I could do is my best. And I'm just a baby in all this too. I was probably just like the average truther, that wasn't, I was a Christian before. That's how I identified myself. But as soon as this, flat earth and all these other truths started coming out, man, that's when I started to crack that Bible and get serious. And it is what it is. And but I appreciate it. So when somebody says, "Hey, this is how I feel," um, I just want to say that that's valid to me. And it's all good, you know. Cindy, to the street, how you doing, Cindy?
One last time.
How you doing?
You okay?
Yeah, everything sounds good. Oh, it's doing it.
Oh, all right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Such a nice lady. She moves around since I had 150 subscribers. That's a long time. And so, but either way, I would die for all of you guys. I would. And when Rowan was in the chat, you know, um, before he left us, I said that, that I would die for you guys, and I meant it. I would have died for him. That, easily that day, not even thinking about it. And yeah, it's weird how this world works, you know. Sometimes the way you care for other people is very one-sided with me, and because we're empathetic people in here, right? All of us have a lot of empathy, right? I would say this, right? Is that sometimes we care for other people and we don't get that same care back, right? Often, right? And this is what I'll say is that not everybody has that ability to feel. You know how like when you're talking to somebody, I know most of the people in here know what I'm talking about. You're talking to somebody and you can feel for them and you can feel for yourself. So something that upsets them, you can kind of feel that them getting upset. Well, there's some people there's some people that don't have that ability. They, they can't. It's not that there's a problem with them. They have other gifts probably. They don't feel for you the same way. They just feel for themselves. And so it feels like they're doing it because you think everybody do, but it's a special group. Like I say that most people in this group, you guys, people, so and it's always because somebody needs something that you guys can do. And the only thing preventing you from, conquering the world probably is that a lot of us can't do things for ourselves, right? There's like these invisible walls. Like I can do it, I should do it, but I don't. But for other people, I could, walk 10 miles, barefoot. But for myself, I can't do it, right? I don't know if you guys can relate to that. But hey, Yayo Mama. Hey, Rose. I said hi to Amanda already. I think she's been here the whole time. Hey, Deb. I don't want to miss anybody that came in here. I know Shazam is here. I appreciate him being here. Karen and James, of course, and Thought Police, Gypsies, Bearless Clutch. Yes, Joel, everybody else. Hannah's here too. I saw her earlier, and so I'm just proud of you guys. I'm proud of you guys. Joel, I don't think I'm gonna have anybody on right now. I'm gonna go ahead and round out, but you don't need to defend yourself. It's whatever. We need to get to a point where we don't take that stuff so seriously. It's like when I get a comment, I just use it to sharpen up. And if someone makes a comment at you, if it's true, use it to make you better. And if it's not true, then just no worries, right? And it's easy to let it go. And so yeah, it's just better not to because we're gonna need to care about each other because look, we're gonna get a lot of attacks. The world's gonna get hostile towards us. We got to learn how to get along with each other. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I know, Joel. Hey, Joel, I know. Like, I know that you already know. I get it. I get it. Yeah. And so, like, most people in here already know the things I'm saying. It's just good to hear it. And so what do you think of the show so far, Rose? This was kind of impromptu kind of thing, but I hope that something I said, you know, helped. Yes, sometimes the best plans are just what God puts on your heart. And at least I planned for to do, basically two other shows. So I'll have something to do for the next couple of shows, plus whatever message comes. And so I'll just say that I'm very proud of you guys, and I'm very happy with you. And I will be live tonight at 7 o'clock. And so just to let you guys know, I do want to go to all of your stuff. I do want to click on all of your videos. I do want to hang out and stuff like that, but after I leave here, um, I maybe total about 100 messages, right? And then after that, maybe some sleep, and then I try to meet 100 new people, which I haven't gotten past 50 yet, to be honest. But try to meet 100 new people that I don't know or that are not subscribed and other kind of in the trenches, right? And and then I prepare for the show tonight, which is I just started doing a second show, and so I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I love it, and I want more of it, right? But I just want to let you know that that's if I don't get to you, right, it's not because that I don't see it or I don't care. Like I will respond personally to it. I don't read the chats and I listen to the show back. Um, not very often. Only when somebody asks me to do it. And so I might miss things in the chat that you think I should see. You still got to let me know. So uh, and then I'll figure it out. But the sound of my voice is like a cheese grater to me. And so but anyway, I love you guys. God bless you. Right? All the glory belongs to Jesus, right? I wouldn't be where I'm at today without him. I wouldn't be redeemable. I wouldn't be, you know, ready for him to return. And all glory to Jesus. And praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace to us. And, I love you guys. God bless. And I'll see you guys tonight at 7. Oh, and if you guys see um, Anti-Venom, I was kind of concerned about yesterday. And, if you see her, hi, that would be nice. All right. I'll see you guys later. Love you guys. Night.